Hey, what's up guys? It is Michael Panetta with Tech Examined, and tonight we got to do a little surgery on the Zoom H5 recorder here. So, let's get started. So, it was bound to happen. Every once in a while something will drop or fall, and I did drop the H5, and it was on my boom mic, which is kind of annoying because I should have been a little more careful. But when it fell, because it was threaded on, the threads torqued and actually ripped the threaded portion out of my H5. And I do have the threads here that are still encased in the plastic, but unfortunately we lost a lot of the plastic that actually goes around it, as you can see there. So I contacted Zoom, and they did say they would replace it. If I send the unit in, they would replace it for $155. And it's kind of steep. I was kind of hoping I could just get a plastic part for the back of this, because I don't think it's too difficult to take apart. So that's the first step. And if it's easy to take apart, I did pick up for about $6 a 2-part super epoxy for plastic. So we can try that. I'm waiting to hear back from them on being able to just get the back cover, which I would hope would 40, $50. I mean, heck, I'll fork that out so I don't have to do this. So I'm waiting to hear back from them the second time. So we'll see what they say. Anyway, there are no videos of the H5 being taken apart anyway. So this is a good opportunity to take a look what these, are set up inside. Now, I did cheat a little bit and look up H4N video that has this coming apart. And we'll see exactly, what we have in here that may be a little different from what I saw in the H4N. Now I knew the one thing in the video. As soon as this one comes out, I mean it's in there, it's loose. Come out, wherever you are. There we go. Now in their video, they did state that there might be there were screws under the H4N. So I already took the batteries out. And I believe yep, that should come right apart, I'm guessing. Let's just take a look here and see. Let me step out of my own light here. Yep, there's screws in there. So I'm glad they were just plugs, because I was hoping I didn't have to rip off something that was glued and lose something else. Alright, now that we removed all 9 screws, 8 screws, let's just take a peek here and see. Yep, now there are 2 screws up here for your plate, for your recorder, but I don't think those have anything to do with taking the back portion off. I could be wrong. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe you do have to take those out. Yeah, it looks like you might have to. I didn't think they had anything to do with it, but it looks like they are. Might be a plate that hangs down off the back of the plastic plate here itself. So just to be sure we don't want to go snapping anything off, those actually screws look to be the same too. So quite different than the H4. There was I think 1 or 2 screws that were longer than the rest to take this out. So that looks like, oh, you know what? Yep, those were screwed in there like that. I'm sorry the focus is off on that. There was a couple of those 2 screws did go into side holes on that. So very important to know. Now I noticed there's a couple wires attached to this. I'm assuming that's for the speaker. So let's get real close to this. And yep, there's a speaker, and there's a couple wires attached to it. And similar to the H4, yep, you can just go ahead and unplug those. And now I have to remember that the red was on the right. And you know what we'll do? We'll leave the tape on this one, because yeah, that's the way you want that to go on there. So we'll go ahead and take that off. Now what we really want to see here is the portion that I'm going to need to fix. And it looks like the speaker is glued in there. I'm going to have to gently... Oh, that came right out easily enough. Oh, there's glue on this other side here. All right. So that came off easily enough. And all right. So we got the wire on the speaker, and then we have a wire for, I wonder what that's for. Comes up here to, looks like maybe the power, for the power adapters and whatnot. I know that's kind of weird what that's for on this side. Maybe, I don't even know, to be honest with you. A ground? Oh, the batteries. Duh. For the batteries. That was silly. So, what I'm going to want to do is take this piece and kind of... The nice thing is this lays flat, so what I can do is get a piece of cardboard and I can go ahead and set up the epoxy and get this set in there close to maybe where it was before. I think it's set up here a little bit like this, and build the epoxy up around here and do that. So we'll have to head to the garage to do that, and then what I can do is I can push that up there, and then we can fill this in. Let me zoom in and show you guys that just a little bit closer so you can see. There we go. So like I said, we've got this piece down here for the thread, and what we want to do is, like I said, I'm glad it lays flat, because then we can just do that and we can build up, use the epoxy to build up down here. So that'll be nice, and hopefully that will fix our issue. I know the epoxy is pretty darn strong, so we'll see. It did torque a little bit here, so I'm a little concerned about the plastic being a little bit warped there, but we'll try that out. So let's head to the garage so we don't make a mess in the house, because we certainly don't want to do that, and go from there. Alright guys, so I apologize if the audio is not the best and the lighting's not the best. This is kind of an impromptu, and just kind of rushing to do this because I want it to actually set for a couple days. So we've got the epoxy here, and what we actually need to do is combine these two together, stir them up, mix them up, and then that's what kind of gives you the strong bond that you can do with materials, which is amazing. I mean, I've done other stuff in the past. I just don't know. I'm a little nervous because this is such an integral part of the recorder itself, because I'm always, taking the plate out and moving it around and, twisting and turning. So really what you need to do is, like I said, you take the cap off, squeeze out the epoxy, mix it together, and that's pretty much it. Make sure the surface is clean, mix thoroughly on a flat surface, replace the cap, blah, 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 blah. So what I'm going to do is grab some cardboard to put underneath this, and so we don't mess my table up. As you see here, I've already got paint on it. So I'm going to grab some cardboard and get this set up and something to mix it with. Alright guys, so I went ahead and got a piece of cardboard and cut up a strip or two for mixing the epoxy. So let's go ahead and just move this over here. Now, my ultimate goal is to try to set this the best way that it was when I originally had it in here before it was broken. And I filtered around with it, and I think I found where it may have cracked off. I think it was sitting basically like that. So the nice thing is, like I said, this lays flat. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and lay that down there, and probably need to put a little bit of weight on this cardboard. It seems to be a little bit... Alright, there we go. So let's drop this in here, and let me fit it back to where it was. Like I said, I think this is where it was for the most part. Now the epoxy should fill it all in, I'm hoping, knock on wood. My only concern is the thread that's in here. So I don't have a bolt or anything short enough to put in there, because then it'll end up sticking up too far, and then, I'll be back where I was. So, and at the same time, when I had this apart, it looked like there wasn't a whole lot of room between the inside of this bolt and the electronics, which were on the back side of the device itself. So let's just fiddle around with this, and I'll get it set. Alright, so I think that's as close as I'm going to get it. It's go ahead and move the wires out of the way here. And we'll mix up the epoxy. I mean, worst case scenario, it doesn't happen and it doesn't work. And I'm just going to have to spend the money to get it replaced. So, let's... Alright, so we've got this off, and we can just go ahead and we'll squeeze the contents out. And I don't know how much we're going to need. That's probably more than enough. And we'll put the cap back on. And let's just mix this epoxy up. Now it does say that cure time, based on the temperature, is anywhere from 1 to 8 hours. So I guess it just depends on you know, the temperature and what it is that you're trying to fix. So yeah, this is going to be messy. Alright, so there it is. I've got it all filled in around it. I hope it's enough. We're going to have to... I'll take this inside on the cardboard and let it cure in the house, obviously. It'll be a lot warmer in there. So we'll just fill that in around it. And I'll check back with you guys in a couple days. And we'll see how it turns out. Okay, guys, so... through the magic of editing, it is now Friday, and I was going to do a couple more modifications to this, but I'm pretty happy with the results that I have of this. I mean, this is very, very strong, and I don't think I'm going to have any issues with this. This is incredibly, you know, in there. It's not going anywhere. What I was going to do was put something in here to kind of bridge across around this, and then, you know, on each side, so it, you know, kind of held it in place from falling back out, you know, towards this way. But I'm pretty happy with it. It's not the prettiest, but you know what? This is what's going to be screwed into the plate, so I'm not really worried about it that much. It's certainly solid. So I'm pretty happy with the way that that turned out. And, you know, I don't think I'm going to have any issues, but just in case, I do have a backup for CES, so that's not a problem. And let's just back out here. And I know you guys pretty much saw me take this apart, so what I'm just going to do is let you enjoy me struggling to put it back together. So, with that being said, enjoy, and we'll be right back and test this out and make sure it works. By the way, guys, I was fast forwarding there, I know, we just basically skipped it. I didn't have to worry about remembering which side each of these wires went on, because this is the smaller plug, and the red for the battery is the larger plug, so just a heads up for that. Okay, so we are all done, and let's just go ahead and pop the speaker back on there, and put the batteries back in. Going to drop the SD card in there. Whoop. And let's see if this turns on and see if I did it right. Accessing card. Oh, I got a... no, we're good to go. Date and time was reset because it probably was out too long. So, looks like we've got volume on there. So, let's go ahead and turn that down. And let it go back so we're not clipping. Oh, I know why. Because we had this turned up. We don't need that turned up so loud. And we'll go about -12 on that. So, we're good. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Alright. So let's hit record and we'll see if we got sound out of this. Okay, we are testing now on the Zoom H5 after my handiwork on the back here, which does not look exactly pretty, but hopefully it will do the trick while we're out in Vegas, and we'll go from there. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you like this video, please be sure to hit that thumbs up button. I hope it will help someone down the road if they have the same situation where you might need to save a few bucks. You know, instead of forking that out, there is options out there, And there are other options if this doesn't work. So, you know, there's definitely things you can do. So, again, hit that like button if you enjoyed this. As always, to get my next video, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Besides that, that's it for me. Thank you for all the support. It's been an awesome year, 2014. Let's go on to 2015, which we are already in. And I'll see you guys probably in CES. This might be the last video. All right, guys. I will see you in the next video.